Alright, so this is going to be a twofer. It's a tale from the tube, but it's also Explain the Name. Or whatever that series is where I explain a place name. I haven't figured out what to call it yet. Which is ironic, given that it's about names. Where was I? Yeah, so when you talk about the Waterloo and City line among tube enthusiasts, or even among some regular commuters, you may hear it referred to as the drain. So the question that arises, and indeed a few of you asked the question, why is it called that? On the face of it, it seems obvious. I mean, it's underground, like a drain. But so are a lot of lines, and none of them are called the drain. I've heard a number of theories, so let's talk about them and discuss how individually plausible they are. Firstly, there's the fact that it goes under the river, and the tunnels could be kind of leaky. It's true that sometimes when you're down there is a distinctly damp smell, kind of musty, which I don't recall encountering anywhere else on the network. Now, I know the concept of leaky tunnels sounds alarming, but it's a fact of life on the tube that the tunnels leak a bit. And by a bit, I mean they have to pump 30 million litres of water out every day. London is full of underground rivers, and the soil itself is absolutely sodden. Which does poke a hole in the theory that it's why the Waterloo and City line is called the drain. The entire gosh dang system is full of water. It's also not the only line running under the Thames. You also have the Bakerloo, Northern, Jubilee, East London, DLR and Elizabeth lines. But the Waterloo and City line was opened in 1898, and the only line passing under the Thames that predated that was the East London line. The others didn't exist yet, or, in the case of the Northern line, didn't pass under the river yet. Even the East London line was quite away from the centre of town, out between Rotherhithe and Wapping in the Docklands. So it does occur to me that, for a lot of people, maybe the Waterloo and City running under the river was a novelty. So I wouldn't totally rule this out. A popular theory is that it's metaphorical, that it rushes commuters out of the city through an underground pipe like a drain. I've heard two versions of this story. One is that it's the speed of the train itself that makes people feel like they're being washed away. Another is that it comes from the fact that the Waterloo and City platforms at Bank are reached by a long, sloping passageway, which felt like a cascade to commuters at rush hour. This is all very poetic. A hypothesis I've never heard, but that I'm going to advance right now, is what if it's a bit of toilet humour? The Waterloo and City line first opened as the Waterloo and City Railway. Now, it's quite popular for railway enthusiasts to come up with nicknames for companies based on their initials. So the Great Western Railway was sometimes called the Great Way Round, and the Somerset and Dorset was the Slow and Dirty. The Waterloo and City has the initials WC, which also stands for water closet, or toilet as we would say in these less delicate times. What if the drain refers to that? As I say, I have no evidence for this, it is nothing more than an idea I made up out of my own head. Let me tell you the theory that I favour. Something I've brought up a few times on this channel is the fact that the Waterloo and City line was not actually an underground line until 1994, when it was 96 years old. First, it was a semi-independent railway, then it was bought out by the London and South Western Railway, then it became part of the Southern Railway, then the Southern region of British Railways, then Network South East. Or, to put it simply, for the thick end of a century, it was officially part of the National Rail Network. Sometimes it didn't even appear on underground maps, or when it did, it was ghosted out. Compared to the rest of the underground, it's just another line. But as a part of the National Rail Network, it stood out. Or, in a more literal sense, the exact opposite. It was unusual, it was unique, it was under the ground. For the workers on the London and South Western Railway and its successors, the Waterloo and City was the only underground line that fell within their remit. So they referred to it as the drain. I think this is our theory. Why? Well, I have no particular evidence to support this theory over the others, but it seems like the kind of thing you'd come up with in the workspace, possibly when bantering with your colleagues. That's the one I'm going with, though of course, you don't have to agree if you don't want to. Well, I hope you enjoyed this sanitary tale from the tube. If you did, please do click the like button and consider subscribing for more. I'm always told I should say that sort of thing at the start of the video, but the way I see it, what if people don't like it? I mean, they don't have to. Once again, I haven't come up with a definitive answer, because, as with so much folklore, the definitive answer is very hard to find, if not impossible. But please do let me know what you think. Which theory do you like? Do you have a reason to favour one in particular? Do you have any theories of your own? Let me know in the comments section. I would like, as ever, to thank my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon, and here on YouTube. You are the pump to my floodwater. And I'll see you all again very soon for another tale from the tube.